This is a quick sketch I painted in Tayasui. I used watercolour brushes to put on some coloured washes and then went over it with a coloured pencil. So let's get into it. I thought I would do a watercolour painting in Tayasui this week because the last few ones have been just black and white sketches. So I begin by doing a simple pencil line across the paper, and then I start painting. And I'm using the watercolour brushes. I've got one of the wet in wet brushes selected. I paint the sky in and the foreground, and then I change the brush from a wet and wet brush to more of a glazing brush, and it's the brush that looks a little bit like a circle but with a ragged edge to it, and that is sort of in its own category. It's got a line above it and below it, and that's the one that I put those trees in. I haven't really used that brush before. I'm using it now to do the water, and I use the blending stump a lot just to soften off the edges of those reflections in the water as well. So I begin by thinking I was probably just going to try and do a watercolour painting and leave it at that, just for a change. Didn't quite work out that way. It got it evolved into something quite different as I started working on it. But as a sort of a thumbnail for a bigger picture, just sort of a sketch to give you an idea of something, this works quite well as it is. But I wanted to get a little bit more detail in there, perhaps, than what is just shown by using those watercolour paints with no real pencil work. So I've kind of worked back to front with this one, where I am using, I did the painting first, and then I decided I was going to do a pencil drawing over the top, and I was going to use coloured pencils. So I'm using the colour blending picker, where you have a colour on the left side of the picker and a colour on the right, and then it creates this band of blended colours, and then I can sort of select colours in anywhere along that band, which is a really nice way for creating, I suppose, analogous colours, to just sort of keep tweaking the pencil work so it's not all one colour over the whole of the sketch. And if you look at the photo, I mean, this was I went for a bit of a walk. It was really unexpected. It was late in the afternoon. Me and my daughter, we sort of drove off to a local marina, and then there was a bit of a walk you could go along. We had this bit of a walk, and I just took a couple of pictures. And this one is like nothing special, but it was just those yellow flowers in the foreground that drew my attention to it. So I snapped that away and thought that would make a bit of a sketch or a painting. I could certainly see myself doing this, painting this as a traditional watercolour, as quite a large painting, but digitally somehow it doesn't work for me. So I just wanted it to be a simple sketch. So you can see it's sort of, I'm getting lots of detail in there just by putting in squiggly lines and sort of some bit of sort of etching there for the reeds and things, and scribbling in some shadows, which are literally just scribbled in, just sort of very quick etching drawn over the watercolour. There you can see some etching going in below the flowers. So it was a real quick sketch to do, but it's nice and bright, and I do like it. I think it's worked well. This could be worked up to a painting, I feel. I like it. I seem to have brought that bush that was in the sort of middle distance on the left hand side right into the foreground, just behind those flowers. So I sort of changed the composition. I didn't mean to do that when I was actually doing the sketch. I've only just noticed that now, that that's what appears to have happened. So I'm just adding a little bit of shadow in that bush. I didn't like it. I took it out again, kept it simple, signed it, and there is a really quick sketch in Tayasui Sketches. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, a big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I've got lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.